Now, our friends, we welcome Rusty Rose, hero, poet, singer of songs, freedom fighter, a woman of vast talent who's so generous to share with us. Rusty, please, my dear, the stage is yours. Would you like to
Thank
be
you.
recorded?
If you would, it's all right.
Recording in progress.
Thank you, Rich, Roarshock, and friends for inviting me. Now, if you would, I'd like you to turn on your caption so you can understand my diction, my Brooklyn diction. This afternoon, I'm going to share snippets of poetry styles. Some you've heard, some are brand new. So I'm going to begin with a blitz, and
She
it's
should be
about
recorded.
yeah, it's about Bath Beach, Brooklyn, the place that I was born 75 years ago. In the poem, you're going to hear me mention the roller rink that my family owned, Rollerama. So sit back, enjoy the sights, taste, and sounds from my past. This is Nets for Bay. I love Bath Beach. I love Brooklyn. Brooklyn Nets, Brooklyn Cyclone. Cyclone is a roller coaster. Cyclone and Coney Island, Island of Liberty, Island of Wonder. Wonder why there's not another Z in Verrazano. Wonder Wheel, Wheel and Deal Mob Style. Wheelbarrow, Barrow Ride at Nellie Bly. Barrel Laughs at Funhouse. House of Cards, House of Brick in Brooklyn. Brooklyn Botanical, Brooklyn San Gennaro Feast. Feast on a Zeppola, Feast of the Dead. Dead heat, dead night, night life, night time. Time to ride the L. Time to be born. Born in Bath Beach. Born in Brooklyn. Brooklyn Bridge. Brooklyn Pizza. Pizza pie at L&B's. Pizza at Spumoni Garden. Garden in Prospect Park. Garden Flower. Flower Show. Flower Power. Power Walk. Talk funny. Do you think? Talk is cheap. Cheap is the price of a Charlotte Russe. Cheap skate. Skate at Rollerama. Skate for Dyker Park. Park at Fort Hamilton. Park along 27th Street by the bay. Bay forever gently flows. Bay inspires poetry. Poetry flows. This is a new one. It was first published in Spill Words. Delirium. Fade into la la land. Night shades, Valhalic eyes, holds the parched tongue, dances on perspiring bones. A frightened moon gambols across dry skin, rolls across my forehead, brows, breasts, and limbs. Exhale, it sailed, returned on a wind, cresting forest firs and pines, capped snowy white sublime, past bloodshot mesas bleached by sun, and in a crystal mineral stream, mauve trout swim about, flying from my blistered mouth, as all trawl to break free from La La Land with me as I struggle to get out. This one, thank you, Ian. This one is Death Cafe. Meet me at Death Cafe, where we can stir sympathy in tea, recall sweet past in frappuccino, warm our souls in a peppermint latte. We can sip demise in the bitterness of coffee or serve it on the side with biscotti. Meet me at Death Cafe to toast life one last time. Thank you. Now, this next one, a lot of you heard, but I must explain this. I talk about pink slippers in this poem, and it's called Transcending Generations. And my dad and my father was a businessman, and to make extra money on the weekends, we'd go from New York to Montauk Point, Long Island, doing odd jobs, painting, hammering, nailing. And so dad happens on this woman. I don't know if it's this guy's wife or mother, but let's say it was the mom. And dad's painting the garage, and we did this, for days and everything. And this guy who lived there, he's talking, and when we walked to the bar and then sometimes take dad's car, he had these pink girly slippers on. And I'd give him the side eye. I was a kid. Anyway, I wanted to let you know that that was Jack Kerouac. And so I've been in his company several times. And this is a poem celebrating Jack and my together, transcending generations. On the road in his pink girly slippers and Japanese kimono, Canadian club in hand and snapping his fingers to jazz, he saunters to Washington Square Park, and on a converging road, wearing fringe moccasins, I trot along McDougal Street, browse head shops along Bleecker, and humming a popular tune, I then come to rest on a boulder just beyond the men playing chess in Washington Square, and I strum my folk guitar with resolve and mushroom to enhance creativity, he offers, and I sing the blues all the while intrigued by him in his black shades, black Japanese kimono, black beret, and rolling nickels bulging from pocket, and I am charmed by his toe tapping and feathery pink slippings, bopping his head and finger popping, and he exclaims, "Good beat, man, really beat." And his shy eyes study my psychedelic hippie threads and sea beads, and groovy man, I reply, plucking a 12-bar beat. And he raises a paper cup to my lips, and I swig the sweet whiskey, and he flashes his blue eyes, beatific man, you a whale, nickel for your thoughts, and heavy man, I reply, far out, and hand in hand we stroll, beat the gravel to burn like a yellow Roman candle. And this next one is in the same vein. Laura, I see you laughing because I remember it the same way. Shrooms, two for tea, magical marzipan, sips for you and me, and porcelain melting, cooked like faces, bodies adrift, flooding saucer sills until they brim, and surplus eyeballs whirred by stirring dippers floating along with bitter cottonmouth spinning, bouncing, flouncing all night long, and delectable rainbow cookie morsels rippling in time to upside down cake like waves. And we chill, revel again, chatty and happy, our minds dancing a shit tasting dark chocolate, serotonin, solar rain, and we crash. You ask, like another cup? Thank you. This next one is going to be in, thank you. This next one is going to be in my upcoming book of poetry. I'm preparing it now. It's going to be called the Book of Poetry Before I Leave. And this one is for my father, and it's called Seashells Along the Atlantic. Father and I walk along Coney Beach. We search for scallops, clams, combs, surf, slippers. Father presses a shell to his ear. The ocean thunders. I do the same with shiny jingle shells. The sea reverberates. It is magical, wonderful. Father holds a pearly orb again. It's my ear and it rumbles. I mimic its roar. He is amused, and I hear another sound. It is a gentle brush. I love you. Father winks and smooths his pencil mustache, and he folds the shell into my palm, and I tuck mine in pocket, and we head home. Father is gone now. His basket of mollusks, cockles, whelks, oysters, periwinkle, sea bones remain, as do my memories. And I raise Father's favorite moon shell to my ear. The captured Atlantic rushes, breakers moan, as does the familiar ambient linger. I love you. I hug the precious shell to my heart, then tuck it into my purse, and I return home. Whenever I am alone, in need of comfort, a sun-kissed shell lifts my spirits. In it, I always hear Father's gentle refrain, I love you, riding on an ocean smile. And this one is from my book. Thank you, Meha. My book, Flower Poems, Personalities in Bloom. They are pantoums. And this is Shasta Daisy. Shasta Daisy swaying in the wind, ready to party any hour of the day, offering a buttery button smile, a welcoming sign with thin white petals, keeping flower beat time, ready to party any hour of the day. Crazy Daisy, you are my lady, with thin white petals, keeping flower beat time, and dancing in the breeze never tires you. Crazy Daisy, you are my lady, your zest is contagious to all, and dancing in the breeze never tires you. You are vital to our garden. Your zest is contagious to all, offering a buttery button smile, a welcoming sign. You are vital to our garden. Shasta Daisy, swaying in the wind. A new one for my new book. Thank you, John. Charms. Captured our sunrises, reflections in the valley bowl, refracted as restorative light, navigated on mountain peaks, rocks, tree canopies, sunflowers, the sway of lavender, desert dandelions, a patchy plume, luminous displays, float on an enchanted breeze, settle upon a ginger sunset. In a mirrored vessel, the self retires, feeling quite content. And next, I know I'm barreling through. Thank you, Laura. Um, I was part of a project in the Walt Whitman birthplace, and I think it was with Local Gems Press, and Therese was also part of that project. And they asked us to combine, do a derivative poem to combine Walt Whitman's work with our own. And so I chose Crossing Brooklyn Ferry. 1. Flood tide below me, I see you face to face. Clouds of the west, sun there half an hour high. I see you face to face. Crowds of men and women attired in the usual costumes. How curious you are to me. On the ferry boats, the hundreds and hundreds that cross, returning home, are more curious to me than you suppose, and you that shall cross from shore to shore, years hence are more to me and more in my meditations than you may suppose. 3. The ferry boat slows along the East River. Curious faces stare as steely flute rise. Neo-Gothic pylons rift the horizon. And I meditate on the flood tide. Rollers slap that stern. Crossings well done. A graving dock is ready for ferry remains. 3. No one speaks on the return home. Twilight greets me at my point of call. On Ferry Road, I trot along. I hear tomorrow's song. And the next one, thank you, John and Ray, and I see everyone. The same thing was asked of Oscar Wilde, and I adore Oscar. I know that if Oscar was alive today, we would get along well. I consider him the father of the gay movement. And from De Profundas, I borrowed from Oscar. And so this is our poem together. I call it From the Pillory. I stood in the gray November rain, a clown whose heart was broken, a zany of sorrow, grotesque, handcuff and in convict dress. As the train sluggishly rolled, people jeered. They stared at my withered form, a spectacle on wooden platform, my head and hands tightly fettered, the humiliation of my paltry life, and I shut my eyes, eluding impolite glares of those who are traveling someplace nice and yearning to voyage, wishing I were free, as in the gray of November it cries out for me. And this is another pantoum from Flower Poems. Snapdragon. Snapdragon, oh, why do you snap? You should be chatting with bees. Do not bite at others with your mouth. Use it to converse. It is better that way. Should you be chatting with bees instead of trying to snap their heads? Use it to converse. It is better that way. Be a friend to some. Instead of trying to snap their heads, do not bite at others with your mouth. Be a friend to some. Snapdragon, oh, why do you snap? And lastly, this one, thank you, everyone, thank you. I'm working on a chapbook. I work on it once in a while, and it is from my Poarty series. It is mixing poetry and recipes at ekphrastic, who knows? But I chose this one because it was published in the Avant-Garde magazine, paper magazine, and online, called Soup Can. And I think you have to really love art and to get a chuckle out of this one. This is Recipe Andy Warhol. In commercial blender, mix 1 beige hamburger, 5 onions, Campbell's beef noodle soup, Marmite yeast extract. Chant, everyone chant, Warhol, Warhol. Add Marilyn Bardot, Jackie O, a ripe banana, Mick, Mohammed, and Elvis. Blend Del Monte peach halves, Campbell's tomato juice. Chant, Warhol, Warhol. I hear you. Pour into mesh silk screen squeegee mayo, liberally transfer on to 2 date nut bread shaped canvases. Chant, Warhol, Warhol. Garnish with Hershey's milk chocolate, Heinz ketchup. Spread Philadelphia cream cheese. Break for lunch. Sit on a Brillo soap pad box, Coca-Cola in hand. Kick off your designer shoes. Enjoy your serendipitous, good concoction and your 15 minutes of culinary pop art fame. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
A wonderful, wonderful set. Thank you so much,
Thank you, Rick.
dear Rita Rusty Rose. You are an extraordinary talent, and thank you for sharing with us.
Hey, you look like you were having a great time reading. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you, Ray. I do. You have to enjoy, what you write in order to, present it to people. But I'm actually a little tame today.
Bravo, Rusty.
A statement and a question. Number one, would you put a list of all your poems of all your books up in the chat? Number two, in addition to Jack Kerouac, who was the other guy, the guy who sued Alan Freed so he wouldn't bring his name to New York as part of the rock and roll tour they used to walk around with?
Oh, wait, I didn't hear exactly what you said. Are we talking about Allen Ginsberg?
No, I'm talking about the character in the village who was always there.
Oh,
Who sued Alan
yes.
Freed because Alan Freed used his name in Cleveland and didn't want to use in New York on the rock and roll.
I don't know what could have been Abby and everything, but yeah, I didn't do my Moondog poem today.
Moondog, that was it.
I didn't Moondog. Yeah, I knew Moondog too. Nice guy.
See, we're part of.
Alan Freed called his show the Moondog Show in Cleveland, and when he brought it to New York, the guy sued him, and then it became the rock and roll show.
Wow, wow. Well, yeah, these young there's a documentary being made of him by, young millennials, and I wrote to them, say, listen, Moondog just didn't spew his poetry and talk on 56th Street Uptown. He was on Bleecker, and in the Village, and 6th Avenue. They wouldn't listen to me, So what can
Love
you
you,
do?
love you, love you, Rita. There's just even the way you say New York. I love it.
New York, yeah.
Well,
Coffee,
we're
coffee.
we're part of the Rusty fan club here on Long Island and in New York. Because when I first met Rusty, some in local, poets on Long Island, and somebody introduced me, and I saw this lady who was, I don't know, 5 foot maybe, with red hair,
Drinking.
a thick accent, which I love, by the way, because I'm a New Yorker. And
Welcome.
then she started to recite her poetry, and it blew our minds away. And so many of the things that she recited today, so many things, Rusty, I love. I love the series, the one that you ended with. I love that series. And I think that the poems about the flowers are hilarious. They're not just good, they're hilarious.
Yeah, they are.
And that, what I feel like is you're just bursting with gratitude and love because you talk about everything. I mean,
Mhm.
you're not afraid to talk about politics, but
Mm-hmm.
I even watch you, even in this set, which says so much about you, that any hand you saw, you acknowledge that we're with the people. You're with the people all the time. So, and it shows in your poetry.
Yeah, and the one that I did about the Blitz poem, the about my birthplace, I happened to be on the committee to get the other Z placed in Verrazano, but I'm not changing the poem because that came before it. Recently, I'm just crossing my fingers. A Hollywood set director who worked with Jessica Lange and Drew Barrymore, they're interested in one of my poems, but I just cross my fingers. You never know because Hollywood wants it now and then they don't want it. So
Right.
Well, thank you again, Rusty. It was awesome.
One of the
One,
reasons I
one for the
treasure
books
her,
for sure.
one of the reasons I
Okay.
treasure her is that when I came to know her fairly well, I asked her, I said, gee, you go to Lourdes and you do all this other stuff. How can you have stayed a Catholic the way they used to abuse gays? And she said, nobody throws me out of my religion. I thought that was so powerful.
that's right.
Yeah,
Well,
good,
thank you
terrific.
again.